Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 113. We have a great show planned for you today, and I'll remind you about our awesome contest with Hotels.com in a moment. We're giving away, by the way, a $250 gift card each week for a total of 8 weeks. This is the 5th out of the 8 weeks for a free night or two at a hotel of your choice. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. So on this week's show, learn about the WD Black line of hard drives and flash drives for your gear, especially if you're into video games. And speaking of games, we'll have Google on the show later on to talk with us about Google Stadia, a very different kind of gaming platform that's coming soon. Also on the show, I was at the big Apple event earlier in the week, and so I'll share with you some highlights of the new iPhone 11s coming out. And we'll learn about an app called Innstal that holds all your product warranties and manuals and does a lot more than that. All of this and more coming up on Tech It Out. All right, before we talk with WD, we do have an awesome giveaway I want to remind you about every week here on Tech It Out till the end of September, where someone will win a $250 Hotels.com gift card to put towards any hotel stay you want through the Hotels.com app or website. Here's how to be eligible to win, and it is open to everyone in the U.S. aged 18 and older. So all you have to do is as follows. Number 1, go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Number 2, type a sentence on why you could use a little getaway. Number 3, include the hashtag #TechItOut. That's it. A name will be randomly drawn, and I'll announce it on the show next week and on social media as well. And if you want to read the full terms and conditions for this giveaway, it's on my website, marksaltzman.com. That's MarkSaltzman.com. All right, let's kick off the show. Not all storage is created equal. Western Digital is getting a lot of kudos for its WD Black line of hard drives and solid-state drives, especially among gamers. And so joining us on the line to chat all about it is Jared Peck. He's the Senior Product Line Manager at Western Digital for this product line. Welcome, Jared, to the show.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you having us here to talk.
Sure. Now, before we talk about WD Black specifically, please tell us about WD. What makes Western Digital the world's top storage company?
Well, we have a pretty rich history from that standpoint. We're actually coming up on our 50th year. Next year will actually be 50 years in storage for Western Digital. But when we talk about Western Digital, we really talk about a lot of technology that's come into it. It's a combination of what was our hard drive business as well as a lot of technology that came in from SanDisk as well.
All right. So WD, Western Digital, acquired SanDisk a couple of years back. Is that right? And they're best known for their flash storage solutions.
Correct. And then what it means is that we really have the best of both worlds. We have really great technology going all the way up into enterprise on the HD side, and we have everything from enterprise to consumer on the flash side as well.
Okay, so let's talk primarily consumer today, and I'd love to chat about this WD Black, and it's stylized as WD_Black. And why do you think gamers like this line of storage solutions?
Well, we really started with the gamers in mind. We said that what we wanted to do is we want to build devices that solve real problems for gamers. And so that's really sort of our motivation on the whole thing. And in every product, there's at least, little ways that we tried to make sure it was a good experience from that.
All right. So let's just take a step back then and talk about what WD Black is all about. And how do you address those pain points for gamers?
Sure. And so WD Black, if you'd ask us what WD Black meant, 2 or 3 years ago, we would always say that WD Black was just about the top of the line. It was 7,200 RPM or even 10,000 RPM hard drives. Even a couple of years ago, we talked about our SN700, which was the top SSD. But that's really started changing with some of the announcements that we've done this year, starting with the SN750. What we said is WD Black is all about gaming and trying to make sure that we're providing a good experience with that. And with the new products that we announced just recently as well, P50, P10, and a D10, we really, again, are talking about how do we make sure that we provide a gaming experience and think about the use before we think about just the tech.
Okay, so what is it that gamers traditionally complain about with storage? Is it that they can't store enough files? Is it not fast enough? And just to clarify to our listeners, RPM is rotations per minute. So the higher the number, the faster you can write or read from these hard drives. Just want to make sure everybody's on the same page here.
Totally. Thanks for catching that. So when we talk about what gamers need, what we'd say is that generally speaking, they're looking at how do I stay in the game better? How do I enjoy the game better? And in some cases, that means I need the very fastest speed. In other cases, it just means that I need enough capacity. We're in a world now where even on consoles, on Xbox and PlayStation, people are downloading games. And you buy a console that's maybe 500 gigabytes or 1 terabyte big, you can't download very many games before you're just out of space.
Right. Then you have to delete games that you're not playing in order to fit new games on there.
Yeah, we started digging into this, a while back, and what we said is, it's a very common on Twitter, people who are actually have anxiety or frustration about playing their games just from the idea that I've got to pick what to delete before I can download and play the new thing.
With Xbox, though, you can connect an external hard drive. Just not a lot of people do that.
And that's one of the things that we're looking at from this perspective. What we'd say is that people have bought our drives and do trust us in the past on the WD brand to have these hard drives and plug them into their Xbox. But we want to make something that's a little bit more custom and more designed for that, and we'd like to make something that we hope gives you more what you need and is guaranteed to just plug in and work with your Xbox.
All right, so WD Black is a line of high-end, top-tier hard drives and solid-state drives. Could you talk about the advantages of each of those two things? So HDD or hard disk drives, and then SSD or solid-state drives.
Absolutely. So starting with the hard disk drives, I think the big advantage is just capacity and really being able to get enough space for all your games. When we talk about these drives, we have like small portable drives that go all the way up to 5 terabytes. 5 terabytes is quite a lot of games. Yeah. And for someone who's like going to be plugging into an Xbox and trying to, download, maybe you're playing Game Pass games and you suddenly have the ability to download as many as you want, this is a great way to kind of add and make that very easy. And hard drives are super at giving you capacity for a really reasonable price on that standpoint to be able to add that capacity.
Right.
So for HDDs, that's really one of the best things about it from that perspective.
And then solid-state drives are typically faster, right? You can write to those drives faster and read from those drives faster. And on a laptop, they're not only faster, but they're smaller and lighter. And because there's no moving parts like a hard drive, it's better on the battery. So you're going to get longer battery life traditionally out of your laptop and less prone to damage because it isn't a spinning plate. Right? No spinning mechanism.
Absolutely. And so really we have a P50 out of our line is our high end, and it's SSD technology. And what we'd say, like you said, one, you're going to get incredible speed. You plug it into the right, the new high end gaming PCs, and you can get 2,000 megabytes a second, which is staggeringly fast, right? Okay. But what it means as well is you're going to be able to, you're going to get really good speeds even on regular systems from that perspective. And like you said, if I'm carrying it around, I know that if I drop it, it's not a concern. It's just ultimately designed to be that sort of mobile drive if you're taking it with you.
Got it.
So we look at and we say that depending on what you're trying to do, there's different technology that meets those needs easily, and we want to make sure that we have covered your gaming needs.
So with that in mind, Jared, we are speaking with Jared Peck, Senior Product Line Manager at Western Digital. Tell us again some of the models that our listeners may want to jot down if they're interested in WD Black, whether they're into PC games or console games, and whether they want a hard drive or a solid-state drive, because I know there's a couple options out there under the banner of WD Black.
Yeah, we have a total of 5 new products in the WD Black line, and those are joining the couple of products that we had, which was the SN750 and the SN750 with heatsink. So SN750 and 750 with heatsink are internal drives that you install into your motherboard. Okay. With an M.2 slot. The new drives are all USB drives to be able to easily plug in and use, whether it's your notebook or your desktop or even like an Xbox or a PlayStation.
So adding this internal storage is for both laptops and desktops?
Yeah, the internal storage is on the PC side for laptops and desktops.
Yeah.
we're looking now at how we expand that out to external storage, which is great for desktops and laptops, but also really makes it to where you can upgrade your Xbox or your PlayStation or things like that as well.
So the drives are fast enough, Jared, that they're not just for backup, where you want to just copy some files from your computer's hard drive onto an external drive for safekeeping, but you can actually run games off of those hard drives too.
Totally. That's really the goal, is that you plug one of these in. So starting off, we have a P10, and a P10 WD Black P10 game drive is a great solution to try to get you a little bit more space on your games. It's going to come in up to 5 terabytes. You get like 140 megabytes a second, as fast or faster as the drive that you've got built into your Xbox or PlayStation. Okay,
so as we wrap up, Jared, how much do the WD Black drives start at, and where can we learn more about the family of products?
So for the WD Black P10, the 2 terabytes starts at $89. For the P50 that we talked about earlier, the pricing will come out a little bit later when it's closer to the time that it ships. We have more information available for those on WDBlack.com.
All right, WDBlack.com, and in that case, you don't use the underscore. It's just WDBlack.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Jared Peck, thank you very much for your time. Looking forward to testing out these drives.
Thanks so much.
You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. This show is powered by ASUS. I'll tell you more about them later on in the show. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's ASUS.com. So that was cool earlier this week, attending the big Apple event in Cupertino, California. It took place at the Steve Jobs Theater near the Apple campus, not the official HQ area where everybody works, that big circular spaceship looking like building, but this visitor center area with some beautiful grounds. And it was a lot of fun attending that and sitting in the auditorium where Tim Cook took the stage for almost 2 hours to talk about what's new from Apple, including new devices, new services. And I'm going to share with you some of the highlights for me, and it was mostly around the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max, the larger device at 6.5 inches. The regular iPhone 11 Pro is 5.8 inches. So very high-end iPhone. So without question, the most beautiful and most powerful iPhones they've ever made, as you would expect, year over year. Though it is funny that all the hype that led up to the event, all the leaks from presumably the factories, maybe in China, where these schematics were leaked and published online, and all the specs that were listed were the exact same ones that were announced on stage. So there were very few surprises at this Apple event, unfortunately, for someone like me who loves a little sort of card up his sleeve. But Tim Cook didn't pull that out. There was, pretty much staying with everything we heard, leading up to the event unofficially, but it was still impressive nonetheless. So iPhone 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max. So these were great devices, primarily in the camera department. So it's a triple camera lens system on the back. There's a wide angle lens, an ultra wide angle lens that can get 120 degree view. So super wide, get all your friends in on the shot or those beautiful landscape shots. And then also a telephoto lens to get a little bit closer to the subject without having to physically go there. So the wide angle lens also has that night mode. So this is where finally catching up to Google Pixel and Samsung and Huawei, the ability to take better low light images. So you've got a subject, maybe someone sitting in a bar, and it's a dimly lit environment. You will now be able to see them very clearly with good color and saturation and all that, instead of it being blurry or pixelated. So that now is something they've improved on. So night mode, the 3 cameras all working together, some advanced editing tools, some editing software. You can shoot 4K or 4 times the resolution of HD, now at 60 frames per second for smoother videos. And they also showed their front-facing camera now with the ability to shoot slow-motion selfies, or as Apple calls it, slow-fies. So like they had a woman, very sort of dramatically shaking her hair around in super slow motion, only to find out that it was a hairdryer, and then it was lowered to her mouth, and she has that funny shape. So that was pretty funny. So a little gimmicky, but I could see that becoming a viral thing online. Show me your Slofi, And there's some other cool things like having spatialized audio in recordings now. So you're shooting a video, you can now fill that room with sound captured with the microphone inside the iPhone. The second thing that I was impressed with, aside from the screen, that beautiful OLED screen, they have a Super Retina display using extended dynamic range, or XDR as they call it. But the battery, I know this isn't the sexiest of features listed on the box of products or on a website, but the battery always was an issue with iPhone. Let's face it, that was the Achilles heel of iPhone users until the iPhone XR came out last year. And with the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max, the company is saying that they can last 4 to 5 hours longer than last year's iPhone XS or XS Max, which is very impressive. So maybe they finally licked that problem. It was always good with the XR, so I give Apple credit. They finally fixed it last year with their screen that does not have an OLED display. It's an LCD screen and more modest camera specs, just like the iPhone 11 now has, one less camera on the back. It doesn't have a telephoto lens, but they've also excelled in the battery this year for the iPhone 11 with 1 hour better than last year's iPhone XR, and the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pro Max being 4 to 5 hours longer than last year's model. So very cool. And I also like the Apple Watch Series 5. They've added some new features there, including an always on display. People didn't like the fact that the iPhone went black to preserve battery life when you weren't looking at it. So now it's always on your wrist. It will be dimmed if you're not looking at it, but it will sense when you've lifted it up, pointed it to your face, and it'll brighten up for you so you can see the time and your complications. I like that. They also added a compass. So if you're looking at a map, for example, on your wrist, you're trying to find out where to walk to for an important meeting you've got, you can now see a compass direction, so it'll point north and what have you. And there's a dedicated compass app too for more information. And then the third feature behind an always on display and compass is emergency calling worldwide. Before, there were restrictions on where you can use that. I was not so impressed with the new iPad, the 10.2, a larger iPad that didn't really seem to have a lot more going for it, so I'll just skip over that. And then finally, in the services department, Apple unveiled two of their new services. One is Apple Arcade for $4.99 a month. This is sort of an all-you-can-play gaming platform where it's 100 games that have no ads and no in-app purchases, and they're premium, sort of hand-picked exclusive games from Apple, covering a wide range of genres, so I'm excited about that coming soon. And also from Apple, coming November 1st, is Apple TV Plus. So this is a streaming video service that has exclusive TV shows, movies, and documentaries, also for $4.99 a month US or $5.99 a month in Canada. And there's some TV shows that they unveiled at the event where they showed us some trailers, including one called C, which was pretty cool. So overall, impressive devices and new services unveiled on Tuesday from Apple. As we wrap up, the pricing on iPhone 11, I think it's significant that it is as low as $699 for an iPhone 11, and I think that's a really good price because it is a premium phone, and there is some pressure on Apple to reduce the entry level on these devices. And then the iPhone 11 Pro starts at $999, and then the larger iPhone 11 Pro Max is at $1099 and up, depending on how much memory or storage you want with it. But overall, pretty cool stuff from Apple this week. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, a reminder of our huge contest with Hotels.com. You could be eligible to win a $250 Hotels.com gift card for a free hotel stay. If you're a legal U.S. resident who's at least 18 years old, here's how to enter. Go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Send a tweet to them with a sentence on why you could use a free stay in a hotel. And then third, include the hashtag Tech It Out, the name of this show. That's it. We'll randomly draw a winner and read it next weekend on the air, and I'll announce it on social media too. With that in mind, the winner from last week was Luciana Malcolms. Congratulations, Luciana Malcolms. We have 3 more of these to give away out of the 8, 1 per week until the end of the month. You can enter once per day to be eligible for the random draw. Good luck. Question for you. Where do you keep all your warranty information or manuals for things like appliances and such? You either don't keep it and hope you don't ever need it, or perhaps you've got a pile of paper maybe stashed in a kitchen cupboard or something. Well, we're now going to learn about what sounds like a much better solution, and it's an app called Innstal, which is spelled Innstal. Joining us on the line to chat is Ishu Singh. He's the founder of Innstal. Welcome to the show, Ishu.
Thank you, Mark.
So let's start right from the top. Tell us about Innstal. What's the app all about?
Innstal is an app that helps you replace traditional hard copies of warranties and manuals like with accessible digital copies. So Innstal reduces the hassle to save the paper manuals and to keep track of the warranties and its related details, like such as documents required to claim the warranties.
Okay, I got it. Do you take a photo, with your phone, of the paper manual that you may get with the product, or is this just purely a digital solution? You have to find a digital version of the manual or warranty card.
So right now we have around 1.5 million manuals, all user curated manuals. So users can actually help other users by uploading the manuals. But right now the currently solution is designed in such a way you don't have a separate folder for manuals and the warranties. So you have the option only to upload the warranties for now. You click the photo of the receipt and the documents that you need in order to claim the warranty in the future. And you can upload it, then you can share it with anyone with the company itself. But manual is uploaded by the users itself and by us also. If the user uploaded, it's for everybody to use it.
Got it. And chances are, with the example I gave earlier of an appliance, if I have, let's say an LG washer and dryer or a Samsung stove top, then obviously other people have that same product. So you just have to find somebody that has that same model number for the warranty or the manual. Is that right? You do a search?
Yes. So there's a search bar on the top, and you can search with any name and it will give you the results. Because we have two sections in the app itself for the manual. One section is for us where we are uploading the manuals directly, and other section is for the users where they are uploading and other people can see. So we call that as an install community. You upload it and everybody can see that same manual.
What are the advantages of having a manual or a warranty card or other information all digital from the beginning is that you can search by keyword. Let's say you're looking to fix one part of that washing machine where you could do a search by word. But if somebody scans a paper version, is there what we call OCR or optical character recognition, or does it stay as a paper file?
For now, it stays as a paper file. The next version of the app is coming in that way, and in the next versions, you don't even have to do any kind of manual thing in order to upload the warranties. It's going to be just one scan of the barcode and everything will be there for you to use.
Cool. And you said that if you needed to share that warranty card with a company, should you need to exercise that warranty, how does that work exactly?
So when you save the warranty, right now you have to save the warranties manually when you bought the product and when the warranty is expiring, and the system is going to push you a notification before the expiry date so you don't forget the date of the expiry of that particular product. So in order to claim the warranty, we have a claim warranty button within the app, you press that button and email will open up right now. But the future intention of the platform is to attach that claim warranty button with the businesses. So you click that claim warranty button and the business will be notified directly. But for now, it's going to open up an email with everything already attached and pre-written. So you just have to send it.
Oh, very cool. We're chatting with Ishu Singh. He is the founder of a company and an app called Innstal. It's spelled Innstal, so Innstal. It's a free download. What platform is Innstal available on? What app store do we find it at?
Innstal is currently available only for Google Play Store.
So it's only for Android right now?
Yes, it's currently only for Android, but we are working with another versions where in the next version it's going to be for Android and for iOS with new and upgraded technology.
And what month would that be?
We are planning around within 2-3 months more because the tools that we are bringing, nobody has ever done that before.
Okay. And is this app synchronized between multiple devices? Like if I have an Android tablet, but also an Android smartphone, if I log into Innstal, will I be able to see the same warranty information and product manuals?
Yes, exactly, because it's linked with the user ID.
Finally, what's the business model? You said it's free for us to download. How are you monetizing this? Do the companies whose products will be looking for manuals and warranties for, are they helping to pay for this?
For now, it is not monetized, and it's free for the users. But we decided first we wanted users to have the experience. They can use it. Like it's going to be free for the users. And we are thinking like it's going to be free for the users forever. And the companies will pay coming in the future. It's going to be one and all solution. You want to claim the warranty, company wants to solve your problem. So it's going to be one platform for both, and companies will be paying.
Okay, got it. And then finally, is there a website where we can learn more, Ishu? I know you said there's not a web version of Innstal yet, but is there a place that our listeners can learn more?
Yes, you can go on www.innstal.com.
So the website is Innstal.com, spelled INNSTAL.com, or just go to the Google Play Store on your favorite Android device and download the app for free. Thank you very much, Ishu. Congratulations on this, and good luck with the future development of this platform.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
You're listening to Tech It Out, powered by its WD Black line of hard drives and solid state drives, especially for gamers. Check it out at westerndigital.com. I also want to thank Asus, the title sponsor on this program. Asus creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Asus.com has more about their products. When we return, we're going to chat with Google about Stadia, a next-generation gaming platform. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Check it out. Hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. When you hear the word video game consoles, chances are you think of a PlayStation or an Xbox or maybe a Nintendo machine. But if you've been following the hype over the last number of months, a little old company called Google is readying its first foray into the multi-billion-dollar console game space with a very unique product called Google Stadia. Joining us on the line to tell us all about it is John Justice. He's the VP and head of product for Stadia at Google. Welcome to the show, John. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
All right, so let's assume my audience has not yet heard of Stadia. Please tell us what it is.
Sure. So Stadia is the next generation game system from Google. It runs out of the cloud, so it turns all the screens you already have into high-end gaming machines. And it's coming this year.
All right. So it's still a box. It's still a console that you connect to a television or a computer monitor, or no? It's in the cloud, meaning all the technology is on your end, on your computers and servers.
So here's the special thing. We run it all in our servers, and so you don't have to go buy a big console or gaming PC to run it in your house. Instead, we take care of that. And so we'll run any place that has a Chrome browser, and so that includes on your laptop, on your any other computer you have, on your Mac. It'll run on Chromecast Ultra, so if you have that plugged into your TV, you can play it on your TV, and it'll run on phones. We're starting with Pixel phones, and we'll bring it broadly across the rest.
So, John, would a fair analogy be that Stadia is to gaming as Netflix is to DVDs or Blu-ray discs? You don't need anything physical with you. Everything is in the cloud on the internet. So that's the same with gaming. You don't need anything local other than a controller, presumably.
Well, I think that's probably halfway there. I think Netflix does two things. One, it's streaming, so it's accessible a whole lot of places, and we're absolutely that. Netflix also is a subscription-only model. You can't buy things. You can only subscribe. We hear players some want to buy games, some want to subscribe to services, and so we support both. And so we have the access side of Netflix, and that lots and lots of people can use this without buying a whole bunch of hardware. And we support both buying games or subscribing for games.
All right, so you can choose whether you want the a la carte model where you pay for what you play, like one game here, one game there, or the buffet or all-you-can-eat approach where you pay one fee per month and then you've got access to a catalog of games like Netflix does for movies and TV shows.
That's right. So on the one side, we have buying games just like people are used to today. And then we support multiple subscriptions. We have our own subscription called Stadia Pro, where we put in some games every month. And then we work with partners like Ubisoft, who has Uplay Plus. And so Uplay Plus is coming out on Stadia, and that will support many games from Ubisoft.
Right. Okay, got it. So what are some of the key advantages to Stadia, John, compared to Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo? The traditional boxes.
Sure. I think I'd break it down into access and experience. On the access side, today, if you want to play high-end games, say you want to play the latest thing coming out, you have to buy an expensive box, and then you have to keep upgrading it, whether you're upgrading a PC or buying the next console and the next console. And so that's a barrier to access. That's also locked to a single screen unless you buy several of them. And you usually also have to wait to either go to the store to get the games or wait for them to download. So on the access side, we don't do any of those. Instead, we buy the box for you and give you access to the hardware, and it's better hardware than any console you can buy. We'll let you run across any of your screens that you can go connect to. So if living room TV is busy, you can go switch over to playing on your laptop. And we don't have any waiting. So the 5 seconds jumping into a game, that's a big difference from waiting for a big download today like you'd have with other systems. That other side is experience. So on experience, one way of looking at it is just good graphics, high-end content. And so we have that. It's the machines we run on are actually a good chunk more powerful than the most powerful consoles you can buy today. And then along with that, we're also making games which are only possible in the cloud. And so the games you'll see come out from us will be able to do things that you just couldn't do on any normal system.
Like what? Can you give us an example?
Sure. So something like massive worlds or having better player characters that you're interacting with better artificial intelligence, taking advantage of Google's great technology for machine learning and AI that we use to back many of our other products. We can use these now for games and make them available for game developers. And those are things that you'd never be able to put into a console in somebody's home because you could never afford it. But we can have those up in the cloud, and we can let those out for game developers to use.
We're chatting with John Justice, Vice President and Head of Product for Stadia at Google, talking about its upcoming gaming platform. It's not actually a console because you can play it on several devices, and all the technology is in the cloud or on the internet. With that in mind, John, if there's an update today to a game you're playing on, say, PS4 or Xbox or what have you, you need to download that update. Can I assume that if you're playing a game in the cloud on Stadia's servers on your end, that if there is an update that, say, Ubisoft or another game developer or publisher adds to fix some issues or add new content, that it's sort of invisible to the player?
That's right. So whether you're trying a new game or whether you're getting an update on an existing one, you don't have to have that long downtime. Today, when I'm playing on a traditional console, if I want to try a new game, usually I don't get to play it that day because I have to wait for it to download or wait for system updates to come in. Or even if some new part of the game came in, I usually still can't play that day. Instead, with Stadia, I just don't have to wait anymore. I can just go in. We're all busy, and so being able to play when I want, where I want, that's a real convenience.
We'll continue chatting about Google Stadia when we return.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Check It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with John Justice, VP and Head of Product for Stadia at Google, learning all about this next-generation gaming platform. Before the break, John, you were telling me that you could log on to a game on one device, like an Android smartphone, and then when you get home on your TV, continue where you left off, all thanks to the cloud. That's pretty cool.
It's part of our effort to make gaming more widely accessible.
What kind of partners do you have? You mentioned Ubisoft earlier. Are there any sort of AAA publishers that our listeners may have heard of?
Oh, we're working with just about everybody. If you look, we got a list up on the website, but we've been announcing games left and right. We just announced a new batch at Gamescom. We announced, in that batch, Cyberpunk 2077, which has a lot of people very excited. That one's coming out.
Yep, myself
and that's
included.
The kind of game. Yeah, and that's a game that a lot of people's systems aren't powerful enough to play it. So playing it on our systems, that's a good way to go. And also, it's one that I know I'll be playing for a long, long time. And so being able to go play it in the hotel room when I'm traveling or wherever I am, that'll be a really good benefit for me.
Also, John, with that in mind, and I sort of compared it to Netflix earlier, if you started a game like Cyberpunk 2077 on your Android phone, your Google Pixel 3a or something like that, and then you go to your PC or your TV at home, will it continue where you left off?
Yeah, it will. In fact, you can even just pause a game and switch screens, which is a pretty fun thing to do. We were showing that off at Gamescom, the big European Games Conference, about a week ago. They have almost 400,000 people come to Gamescom every year. And we showed it at PAX just this past weekend. And so we've had thousands of people coming and trying that, playing games on Pixel, playing them on actually laptops or big screens. And it's been awesome seeing their response.
What if you go to your buddy's house after work or after school and they have Stadia? Can you log in with your credentials and have access to your content?
Yep, you can. Wow. You can go wherever it is you go. You can log in. As long as you have a decent internet connection, then you'll be fine. And we are working on making it so that Stadia takes less and less and less bandwidth so we can work across as many connections as possible.
And that leads me to my second last question, John. We'll end off on price and availability when we can actually get our hands on it. But what do you need to get going? This all sounds amazing. However, no question that you're going to need a very fast internet connection, or is it a persistent connection? You're going to always need to be connected while you play. And how are you going to address those who maybe live in rural areas or other areas where the internet isn't so fast?
Yep. So for making it work today, we recommend for the very highest end experience for 4K, HDR, surround sound, all of that kind of stuff, then about 35 megabits per second. On the low end, we recommend a minimum of about 10. So if you have about 10, which most people have, not everyone does, but most people have, then 10 gives you a good, solid experience. And we're also working with ISPs all across the country to go improve connections. Google already has a very good network and good connections with ISPs, but we're working with ISPs to make it better. The other thing that helps here is 5G is coming, and 5G is bringing in new fast connections for a lot of people who might not have been able to get good connections before. So whether folks are in rural areas or if they're just in areas that you just can't get a very good connection, 5G looks like it's going to come in and be a good help. So we're excited about working with folks on making that better.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of buzz about that too. And that's one of the applications is gaming, interactive entertainment. And then finally, John, when can our listeners and others get their hands on Stadia for the first time? And what's the approximate price point you're looking at?
Yeah, this year we're launching the Founders Edition. So we have a Founders Edition that lets you get everything you need all at once. So in the US, it's $129, and that gets you a Stadia Pro controller, or the Stadia controller, which connects directly up to the cloud, which is a pretty cool thing. It makes it extra fast. It gets you a Chromecast Ultra, so you can play on biggest screen you have. 3 months of Stadia Pro, which comes with games and access to 4K and some other kinds of cool things. And it gives you a buddy pass, so you can go give access to a friend to play with you for 3 months.
Wow. And the price, that's considerable difference in price compared to rival consoles out there. It's a lot more affordable. Are the games comparable in price, like $60?
Yeah, games are comparable in price. And because it's a lot more powerful with higher detail and generally better than any other console that you can buy today. So that's what's coming in this November, and we're doing pre-orders now. Okay, and the best website for pre-orders or other info on Stadia, including videos, if they want to see what the games look like? Just check out Stadia.com. All right, Stadia. Right. .com. Thank you very much, John. Thanks very much for having me, Mark. Well, that wraps up this week's Tech It Out. Hope you enjoyed the program. Good luck if you're entering the Hotels.com giveaway, $250 Hotels.com gift card. And thank you to ASUS, the title sponsor on this program. Tech It Out is brought to you by ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. ASUS, for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's ASUS.com/US/radio. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Bye-bye for now.